Namaste, welcome to the beginning of it all. This year has been unlike no other that we have lived through anyway in our lifetimes. And really we are coming to this head, this point where we have to gently turn to face what we're running from. We as individuals, we as society, as whole of humanity, we've been in a really busy phase, a really busy period of our own evolution. And through that running, through that doing, through that busy, through that consuming, whether it's material goods or information or novels or films or ideas, we are avoiding something that maybe has been a repetitive cycle, repetitive patterns in our family. You know, it can be karmatic, it can go through generations, maybe just us as an individual specifically. Equally, maybe it's gender-based, depending on what gender you are, your own wounded masculine or wounded feminine, regardless of your genitalia. We have, in every country in this planet has their own shit, right? And right now it's really being turned up, and in some cases it's being tried to we're still trying to avoid it. So this retreat is all about looking at our own lives, taking personal responsibility with what's going on, what patterns we're replaying, what emotions we're suppressing or repressing, whether we're conscious of or unconscious of that holding in or pushing down. And in this first practice, I do want to make a note about obviously, we're talking about emotions, but emotions cannot be separated from thoughts. So this retreat is specifically for people who are maybe wanting to bring about a little inner revolution in their lives, wanting to get this final, or not even final, just a big turn and a big part of the transformation within us, turning towards those emotions that we've been fearing and harnessing them with and using their power to bring us into our new place, our new vision. And if you are having any bigger issues mentally right now, you know, going into meditation practice may not be the first place that you need to start. Maybe there is specific help that would be better than just to go into, deep meditation practices for 3 days. So this retreat is going to be entirely self-led. So I'm going to be putting out recommendations of how I would see the retreat working, and a proposed schedule. If it doesn't work for you, you have the recording, so you move it around in your own way. Equally, when you're watching some of these things or when you're doing some of these meditations, if all of a sudden it doesn't feel right, then do stop, you know. And there's two sides of it doesn't feel right. There's a can't be bothered, you know, an ego starting to be scared of things that are going to change. Or there is equally, it's just not the right time. I'm not the right teacher. So I am not saying what I have to teach, my techniques are for everyone. So I'm going to leave that as a footnote for because obviously as we're not in a physical space together, I can't gauge and I can't read what's going on a personal level. And those of you who are ready, raring, feel like you're in the right place, feel like you're done with the same things, the same outcomes over and over again, the same frustrations, the same fears, the same limits happening in your world, then this is for you. And do feedback to me. If you want to just drop me a personal email, you can do that every day if you want, or you could do it just at the end. I can help you along the journey. So do communicate. You know, that's how you're going to get the most from this. Do share. You know, sometimes in that sharing, you are able to actually hear yourself, see yourself, recognize yourself, and in that we transform. So our morning practices, I am recording this meditation now for you as a guidance of how to be sure in your mind and clear where you're coming from, where the conflict is, and how to discern which is your soul and which is your personality. So just as a little bit of a background, you know, you are an infinite soul, but your soul has a unique quality to it. It has a unique vibration, right? And that vibration has the 7 main soul groups that you are part of, and each soul group has a very distinct mission to be influencing, to be working on, to be partaking in these physical bodies throughout all of your lifetimes. And then you have this personality, and this personality again is unique. It is finite, it is one time only. And your soul picks these personalities given to you through your genetic makeup, through your parents, through what you've learnt. And with that, then your society or your culture or your country that you've been brought up in. So your personality does change through your life, but it itself has unique skills and gifts, and it has strengths and it has weaknesses. But your soul needs those strengths and needs those weaknesses. It needs those weaknesses in order to learn about itself, to grow and to evolve. And it needs those strengths and those skills in order to deliver a part of the greater purpose of that grouping that you are part of, that vibration that you hold deep within you. And your soul and your personality through your lifetime have this kind of battle of who holds the reins of control. And you know, I think of it as a kind of it's a friendly battle, you know, like there's no real losers, you know, but your personality will form something called an ego, and that ego is like your identity, and that ego, that doesn't like giving up. And if you think about through your life, your identity does reform, your ego does reshape. Just like if you had children, your identity then changes. If you once your parents died, again your identity changes. You kind of shift up a gear, a notch up the level of the hierarchy of the family. There's lots of different points at which getting a new job changes our identity. Retraining, restudying changes our identity. And right now, all of us are kind of having an identity crisis. World has contracted around us, and in that contraction, everything we can't run anymore. Everything has become limited, and that running that I was talking about at the start suddenly stops, and we are becoming more confronted by these emotions that we've been carrying around with us for ages. And those emotions are coming from kind of a couple of different sources. So from a soul perspective, your soul uses your emotions as a kind of emotional guidance system, right? And it's trying to let you know of what's the right decision, the right next step. You know, when you apply for a new course, when it feels really good and you maybe just feel inspired, but it also comes with an emotive feeling. It feels good. So your soul's trying to speak to you through this guidance system, but then your personality, which is made up of a physical etheric body, an emotional or astral body, and a mental body. When the mental body or the emotional body becomes very clouded, heavy in those emotions, we can't sense those finer emotions. Equally, if we're in great physical discomfort, it's also sometimes quite tricky to sense deeper into those more subtler realms. So right now, the emotions that the personality has been carrying around with it, whether it's from, now I'm going to use the word trauma, but it doesn't have to be a big trauma in terms of abuse or neglect. It can be along the spectrum. Maybe you weren't listened to as a child. You know, that's a light form of neglect. You know, maybe you were shouted at. Maybe you just simply weren't allowed to be your fullest, brightest self growing up. And that's shaped how you live. So your personality has all this stuff that it carries with it. And it carries thought processes and thought forms that, again, chain and limit how the personality can actually be receptive to the soul's influence. So it is Scorpio. That's why we're running this this retreat. And in Scorpio, we are looking at our emotions on a deeper level. They're the ones that are subconsciously running the show. And with this contraction, we are more aware of which ones are running the show. So I'm going to give you journal prompts through this weekend to check on your emotions. I'm proposing that you do this meditation to become aware of that subtle relationship between your soul and your personality, and the relationship between them. And through the day, keeping that in mind as you observe yourself, observe the emotions. The full moon is going to bring it up even more. It's going to intensify the feelings that lay under the surface, perhaps unseen. Perhaps you've been having a great time. Equally, you know, you may not be feeling it as intense, but my gut is that this is where we have the opportunity to really see it and take hold of the reins and use what has been subconsciously and even unconsciously limiting us to supercharge us into our next age or next phase of our life with more purpose, with more love and more unity. So the meditation we do at the start of the day, I'm also inviting you to do a little bit of a physical practice. You can choose with this one. I'll put up a couple of suggestions, but just free the body every morning physically. You know, see how it feels, observe how it feels. And then we meditate. Then we have the option of journaling at this point. Now, you may find lots comes up. Just keep your journal with you. You're going to have the prompts as well. I'm going to give you the prompts every evening so you can write them in your journal for the next morning. And then through the day, the journal prompt I want you to kind of keep in your mind, so that at the end of the day journaling, really important, that we then reflect on all that we've experienced, all that we've reacted to or the emotions that we've seen. And through the 3 days, we're going to start to understand those emotions more, see why they're there, work with them, and go deeper. So the meditation itself, this personality soul meditation, outside of the retreat, use it as much as you want to. You can continue the work after this. Set your intention to work with the meditation for the next month, the next 40 days, whatever feels right for you. But definitely commit to this short meditation for these 3 days in the morning. Set your watch, get up slightly earlier. If you have kids, get up before they're up. Or communicate with your partner. Communicate and ask for what you need for this weekend. Okay, so to the meditation. So sitting yourself up nice and tall, cross-legged, or have the soles of your feet on the ground. Allow the palms to be facing upwards with the thumb and the first finger together. Take a big inhale through the nose and exhale through the mouth. Inhale from the base of the spine up through the crown of the head. And back down from the crown of the head. Inhaling. And exhaling. As we watch the breath, we're going to slightly squeeze out a little bit more on the exhale, letting go. And on the inhale, draw in a little bit more. Exhaling, 2, 3, 4. Inhaling, 2, 3, 4. Exhaling, 2, 3, 4, 5. Inhaling, 2, 3, 4, 5. Exhaling, 2, 3, 4, 5. Inhaling, 2, 3, 4, 5. Exhaling, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Inhaling fully. Exhaling fully. A few more rounds just to center yourself to where you are right now in this body. Watch the breath and feel how that breath feels in your body. Take one more deep inhale and deeper exhale in and out through the nostrils. And then turning your palms down on your knees. Let's check in with our physical body, seeing how the feet and ankles and shins and knees feel. And the thighs and all of the legs. See how the pelvis feels and the belly. Breathe into the side ribs and see how the side ribs feel, without judgment, just observation. And the lungs and the heart. Up to the shoulders. And the arms and the elbows and the forearms and the wrists and the backs of the hands and the fingers and the palms. And the whole of the spine. And back to the throat. Maybe swallow. And release your jaw, see what you're holding. See how your mouth feels, your nose, your cheeks, your eyes, your whole face. See if you can relax and soften as your ears relax. See how the brain feels physically. And as you scan your whole body, see if there's any point in your physical body that is asking for some attention. And the physical body is only one part of the etheric physical aspect of who you are, the form and the vibration. Right down to the base, the tip of your tailbone here, the base chakra. See if you can feel some kind of spinning vortice or some point of tension at the base of the spine, or maybe on the pelvic floor. And see if you can draw a root down to the ground. And into your pelvic area. Seeing if you can feel a point of tension or a spinning vortice here. And into your core. Breathing into your belly. Breathing into your digestive system. And into your heart. Feel it expanding. Now we're in the higher chakras, the heart here, the throat. Feeling some spinning point in your throat, and to your third eye. And the crown of your head. The crown and third eye associated with wisdom. Also with purpose. The crown and third eye. Then back to your throat. Intelligence and communication. An outward expression. And heart, love and unity. See if you can sense these higher aspects of your physical etheric system. And they all coordinate to the lower, the head to the base, the throat to the sacral, and the heart to the core, to the solar plexus. And what we're striving to do is to unite our personality with our soul so that they can work together through this apparatus. And as you rub your hands together now, place your palms on your heart, the king of your emotions. Your emotional guidance system at its highest level. And just ask yourself how you're feeling. What are the big emotions, the big sensations today? Just take a big breath into that feeling. And exhale, let it go. Into that feeling, experience, see it, know it, and let it go. And maybe you just need to sit here with that feeling for the moment. The thoughts will try and distract you. Just stay in the heart for a moment. And see if you can notice subtler sensations behind the bigger ones. The big questions this weekend are, what are the emotions that you're feeling and why are they there? What are those big emotions trying to tell you? What do they need? What do they need? And what is the superpower that they're going to give you once you give them what they need? And you may not get the answers the first time you ask. This is a continuous dialogue that we're having with ourselves, that we're developing. And with our awareness still in the heart, rub the hands again. I'm going to place the hands on our eyes. And we're just going to breathe into the brain and its counterpart of the mind. And with your eyes still shut, releasing your hands, massaging your temples and the crown of your head with your fingers. Take a big inhale and exhale. What are the thoughts that are creating those emotions or reinforcing those emotions? Releasing your hands back to your knees with your palms up. And these thoughts, these statements, who is saying them? So here we have your personality, your physical, your emotional, and your mental. Set your intention from here through your day to be mindful of how you're feeling and the thought behind the feeling. What are you telling yourself? And just like our chakra system, this personality is only one half of who we are. Is like the lower three chakras. And as you bring your awareness up above your head, find bright star above your head. It's known sometimes as the solar angel. Some people talk about speaking to their guides, and often it's actually just their higher self who looks a bit like an angel, feels like an angel. And then this love center of your soul, feel the brightness, the lightness, and the love. The love that has yet to be experienced, and the unity that has yet to be known. As you allow it to downpour into your physical, emotional, mental being, your personality. And keep a line, a connection between that star, that guiding star above your head. And draw that light and that love down through your whole body, filling you up entirely with this finer, bright white light. And that star itself is only a receptor for an even finer, brighter, more one whole aspect of life. That is life itself. Taking your imagination as high as you can take it, and allow all that you need to receive to be received right now. Being magnetized and colored by your soul, being received and sensed to your personality through your emotional guidance system, and through your intuitive knowing, through gut feeling, and through instinctive impulsivity. Setting your intention from this moment to project forwards through the day, to be aware of those points, of those intuitive moments, those sensitivities, emotionally, in your gut, or through just an impulse. Project it all the way through this day. Take a big inhale and exhale. Rubbing your hands, placing one hand on your heart, one hand on your belly. Sounding Om, or listening to the sound to seal the practice. So give yourself a moment and begin your journaling. If you feel inspired, just put down anything that you felt, and I'll see you in the next practice. Namaste.